Okay, and then I show to you that how to assemble this brake caliper and this brake piston, because now these all parts are clean, and remember all parts must be clean, like this metallic, this gasket boots, this locking pin, all must be clean, and use clean cotton cloth that all items are clean, because it is must. These pistons must be clean, this gasket must be clean, and this inner gasket, and especially that area, this cylinder must be clean. And then use that kind of workbench what I have, because it is so easy to insert that brake caliper in here in that area, and carefully press with that area, not in this area. And in that way, because it is really easy to assemble when this brake caliper is in that position, and then use extra light that we can see in their inside. And first step is that I take again clean cotton cloth, and I again take all extra things in here away. This cleaning is must. And now note, there is no any lubricant yet, but soon I will add, and this assembly happens so that first I insert this inner gasket. And if you have difficulties and if this gasket is broken, please go to visit in the nearest Toyota dealership center, and then you will get within in same day or in tomorrow this new gasket what lasts this 10 to 20 years. Toyota's parts last long, but aftermarket parts, they don't last so long. And this first step is to insert this gasket in only one way, in that way, not so that, please look, in that way, no any rotation. I insert that in here first, in this hole, what is in there inside, and I start in this one area. The starting point is must in carefully, in that way. Now it starts in there, and then I carefully insert that in here, and I keep in other finger, I keep this gasket in here, and this is accurate job. And this end part what is in here, it must be go in very nicely same way. And final step is that, look that, all areas in same, and then touch in finger. And now we need first time this specific brake lubricant. And remember, no any standard Vaseline or no any motor oil in there. This is special gasket. Look, this color is like, this is like honey. And then idea is that I insert that lubricant now directly in that gasket, because it is tight. There is more this lubricant, and all areas through, and use clean fingers, no any oily and no any sand in here. Remember, no any sand, this must be clean. This is really sensitive part. Be sure that your fingers are clean, and if they are not, use cotton cloth and clean your fingers that they looks like that they are very clean. All must be. And then final step is that when this lubricant is in there, then I take this my piston and I clean that again. And in that part, it is good to insert a little bit grease in this area, that there is lubrication. In that way, this is like this inner piston area, this is outer. And then I insert that in here, just in directly in that position. And this is the, for novice, the most difficult thing, because now there is compression. This inner gasket takes back and it resists, and that's we need to press that in very steady and stable in same direction, and then it goes nicely when we press in these points, and a little bit movement, and then it goes nicely in that way. And then we stop. Remember, no end, like in half, because we need to insert that gasket next. And this gasket goes so that it goes in not in that way, it is like in upper way. Look, it's look different. And first step is to insert that gasket in that hole. There is hole in here, this hole. And this part, this upper part, this goes in this hole. And it's good to start in this area because this is the most difficult area. And then when I little bit stretch that, we need to stretch that gasket. And now it goes in that hole. Look, now it's nicely, it is in this hole. And then we have interesting thing, because in that hole, what is in here, we need to finally insert this locking pin. And it happens so that now I press that little bit down, this piston in that way, and then not stop that, do not press this totally in. And then I take this spike tool and I insert that gasket in this hole. This is difficult and important thing, that this gasket goes like in that way. It goes in all areas. This is bad in here. And that area, and be carefully and use light, and then it finally goes in there. And check that also in this area is fine in here. And then when all areas are there, it's nice, because this is bad in here. Okay, and now it's in position, and final step is to insert that locking pin, and it goes in that hole in here, that hole between that and that, and it goes in. And it's good to start in one place, that first this one end in here, and here is good to use also this metallic spike carefully, that we don't destroy this boot, but that we can insert that in there inside, like in that way. And then we start to rotate, and we compress a little bit that metallic pin, and then when it finally goes in there, we keep in that position. And then this final end, we use this tool and we insert that inside. Now it is in there inside, and then we start to press that down. This is the final step, and this down press is very useful. If we have flathead screwdriver, we press that carefully, so that this metallic pin must be totally in all areas, also in here. This is bad thing. In that way I use my screwdriver in here, and this is bad, and then I press and carefully, and then it finally goes in there, and we need to check that this metallic pin is in there. And now when it is finally in there, we can test using tongs that how this piston is moving, and only that area. We can take contact in this 2 millimeters in here, not in this. Be carefully, this can go broken, and that's be very carefully when you take this tongue contact, very small amount, and then when I rotate that in nicely, I can know that this piston is moving nicely, and then I can compress that piston totally and using my fingers in that way. And if it moves in there nicely, we know that everything is fine. And now this piston and this brake caliper is ready for installation back, and then we go to install that brake caliper back.